Hi everyone. This evening, I intend to talk to you on another very important topic, that is rural internship. So we have seen time and again that during when you are undertaking professional programs in higher education institutions, so there is also provision for internship, and at some places there is a mandatory internship period as well. Now that being said, most of the time the students throughout the country prefer to do internship in tier one cities or so-called metro cities, and we have seen a very less traction of the students to go and do an internship in rural areas. I believe one of the fundamental question or issue can be that because of the lack of opportunities in rural areas or the lack of infrastructure in rural areas to support internships. But my dear friends, I can say so that in rural areas there lies enormous opportunities. When you see or when we undertake the studies of the development, then we see that the maximum development or where new strategic initiatives can be taken is in the rural areas. I personally believe that it is the rural areas where in the internship should be promoted, and the student should take an initiative, or the university should come forward and ensure that a certain percentage of a student in a rotation wise manner do also take rural internship. We have seen these kind of news with respect to MBBS student, but whereas other programs are concerned, there is very less to no traction per se. We all are aware that the University Grant Commission has prepared draft guidelines on research internship and divided the internship into two categories: internship to enhance employability of an individual, and internship to develop research aptitude. Now, that being said, a lot of these research driven internship can take place in rural areas, and also with respect to the employability. There's certainly a lot of scope down there. One can always work with panchayat, one can always work with uh, zila parishad, one can always work with the schools or the institution which are working in rural areas for the matter. And I believe that's where the entire trajectory should be. Also, when we talk about the law school per se, I think there has been a provision for creation of legal centers across various law schools. And I've seen the law students from across the country, various law schools take part in legal aid activities. And in name of legal aid activities, only one thing comes into the picture is a nukkad natak. So, सिर्फ नुक्कड़ नाटक से there cannot be any substantial change for the matter. You have to take the initiative much more than a nukkad natak. You have to involve the people, you have to involve the villagers, you have to involve the people who live there, जिनके लिए ये सारे प्रोग्राम किए जा रहे हैं for that matter. रूरल इंटर्नशिप का या रूरल एक्टिविटीज या वॉलंटियरशिप का मतलब सिर्फ इतना नहीं है कि यू गो देयर, टेक अ फोटोग्राफ, कम बैक, बट टू रियली मेक एन इम्पैक्ट फॉर दैट मैटर. अगर आप लॉ स्कूल से अगर हैं और लीगल एड सोसाइटी के यू आर अ मेंबर एंड you want to make a change along with doing this nukkad natak, which is pretty fine to get the attention, but again you must ensure that the local language है वहाँ की, उस पे you give certain information to the people of these villages, like essential information. FIR कैसे फाइल होनी है, how to file an FIR, how to call police, what is domestic violence for that matter, what are several schemes of the government for that matter which these people can use. Yes, right, to free legal aid की बात हो गई. And now these kind of things will really make a substantial change for the matter. Again, if you're in another program for the matter, if you're doing an MBA for the matter, and you think that whatever you have learned, or you have some suggestions or idea, you can always move and tell it to the panchayat in a village area, and there you can start in a small segment and see the actual results. So if you remember the Shark Tank, the Shark Tank particular, this is a program which came on television. So several of these startups are from rural areas, so there lies enormous scope. If I talk to you about these research, internship, and everything, this falls in lines with national education policy, wherein the integration of research component is essentially to a degree program. And certainly, if higher education institution come into this segment wherein they ensure that the students also intern in rural areas, I think that can be a game changer. I can always tell you about that. There has been some development in India with respect to programs being launched, and Ministry of Rural Development is one of the one of the stakeholders in this particular program. Now, if I can tell you that Ministry of Rural Development, for the matter, came out with program for action through internship in Bharat, which is a Pratibha program. And if you go through this particular page of the Ministry of Rural Development working under the government of India, then you see that what Prime Minister of India believes in, and what is this entire program about, plays a pivotal role, etc., etc. They talk about all the policies which are driven by this particular ministry, for the matter. Then at the end of this, they talk about there's a clear need to incentivize research and innovation applicable in rural sector, aiming to enhance the outcome. Yes, there is need to incentivize research in these rural areas. And once that is done, I there will be uh, some of the biggest revelation and some of the biggest research output, and that will substantially change the lifestyle in rural community, for the matter. Now, Pratibha is one of these programs, and and it will ensure that the rural development happens with fresh and innovative ideas, for the matter. But again, my dear friends, if you click on this apply now, and you wait for the screen to open, you see you can register for this. But if you see the options, it is like AICTE affiliated organization, diploma engineering, MBA. Their liberal arts programs are missing. Law program is missing. So I believe that if you don't know whether you are institute in AICTE affiliated, click here. So I believe that this scope has to be that you are a student of in a higher education institution. Yes, you are an undergraduate or a postgraduate student, and I think that is where the change will begin. Once you start expanding the scope of all these initiatives, then only the real impact will come into the picture. And I think the first differentiation point can be here itself, uh, under the Pratibha scheme. Now, that being said, that is one of I'm very happy that this has been discussed, and something is working in that motion. But again, I completely believe that if you want to ensure that there is an inclusive education, inclusive development, and the diversity of India is involved, all cultures are involved, then I believe that every part of an education has to be part of higher education has to be taken to rural areas. And I believe that soon these UGC guidelines will be in force, and I believe more and more internships should be promoted in these rural areas, and then we will see the real impact of them. Thank you so much.